everybody, how you doing? My name's Dave, and if you're surrounded by instruments, you can call me Daveypoo, the mobile music minstrel. How you doing? Alright, today I'm going to do a different kind of a video. I have this crazy camera rig set up so that I can film from a number of different angles because I want to talk about making your performances sound convincing. I think a lot of us get hung up when we're performing, or improvising especially. We get hung up on notes. And everybody wants to play the right notes, or more notes, or the notes aren't fast enough. Notes, 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 notes. And I've seen a lot of videos talking about other things other than notes, but not put in this way. So we're going to try something a little different today. I want to talk about how to make what you do sound convincing. Now, the first instrument I'm going to grab is my bass. That's my main instrument. It's the instrument I'm most comfortable on, so hopefully I can illustrate the point on that. So let's grab the bass out from over here. Okay, so you can see the bass here, you can see in my lap, and you can see me playing, you can see my face. Let's talk about selling what you do a little bit. So there are lots of other aspects other than notes. I can play a major scale, that's easy, in C. You know, I can go from the root to the root, I can go all the way up. Now I can improvise around those notes too. Okay, I can make a melody around just those notes in that scale. That's fine. But how did I make that interesting and not just... which is how we learned it. I didn't just use the notes. I changed the other aspects. I changed the rhythm of what I played. I changed the dynamics, how loud and soft everything is. I changed the expressions, is what I'll say. Like the things that aren't like grace touches, okay? Like things like hammer on guitar, they would be hammer-ons and pull-offs and slides and all that kind of stuff. These are some of the qualities that I want to focus on that will help make your performance sound more convincing. Okay. Let's use an example. Let's just dive right in here. So I can play the opening notes to My Girl by The Temptations. Now, I can play them totally straight with no feel. And that's boring. But what makes this sound convincing is knowing when to cut the notes off and make them short, when to keep the notes legato, when to add the attitude. You got that first note that kind of pops, pop, and it kind of cuts off a little short. Notice how I lift my finger up here when I'm done playing the note to get it to cut off. Okay. I'm not suggesting that you learn every single thing that I'm doing. What I'm trying to illustrate is the idea that there's more going on here than just playing the notes. Now, I'm over-exaggerating also, but if I were to just play the bass line the way I feel it, I'm not going for note recreation of the bass line. I'm trying to get the feel, and I'm skipping because I'm talking about... Okay, it doesn't matter all those notes that I'm playing. What matters is the attitude. I could have played... or... right? And these things are a lot of less interesting unless I add some personality. Dead hits. I've talked about these before in past hits with my organ video, using ghost notes on the drums or on the bass. Right? All of those kind of things. Okay? Those kinds of tricks, sliding into a note. Instead of just, you know, pulling off a note. Like here. Where you pluck the note with this hand, and then the next note is made by pulling off with the other hand. So you're not plucking both notes, you're not going, you're going, okay? So hammer-ons are the opposite, where you hammer on, and then you pull Okay, these are things that instead of making a C major scale sound like this, it can sound like, or some combination in between. Now that's just me changing the rhythm. Okay, and there. Now instead of going just down the notes, I'm skipping one. Yes, I practiced all of these things, and yes, I've done them for a while so I can play them cleanly and fluently now. That goes without saying. More, I'm trying to show you some ways to get these parts to sound less stiff, okay? Adding personality. Instead of, even if you're just playing one note, okay? Here's the classic example. Everyday People by Sly and the Family Stone. The bass line is this. The whole song is that. It never changes. Think about it. Sometimes I'm right, and I can be wrong. My whole beliefs are in my song. Butcher and baker, drummer and then, makes no difference what groove I'm in. See, and I f***ed it up. Everyday people. I can't sing it and play it at the same time, but you get the idea. It's just. He doesn't even do any, not on this song. This song is just the one. My point is that it can be one note, but look at how much attitude there is in that. You're not just playing 1 and 2 and 3. It's ba ba da ba da ba da ba. There's lifting off of this hand. Trying to exaggerate it so you can see it. It's kind of that thing, right? There's a song that just has one note and one groove for the whole song, and he still makes it interesting. It's about how you play it. I can look at you and I can call you jerk, or I can call you and jerk, and they have a little bit of a different meaning, right? The same thing is true here. If you just are Mr. Stiff, Mr. Metronomic, that has its place, but there's also okay, so bass, you get the idea. That's changing things up a little on bass. Part of this is learning a little bit about the instrument that you're going to be playing so that what you're playing on it is convincing in a way that person who knows that instrument or whose main instrument that is would be able to do the same thing or would do something similar. So here's an example. So here's my bop pad. I've got a kick drum and a snare drum on 2 of the different quadrants. Now I know I'm not playing kick with my feet like a traditional drummer, but I can still do some things that are going to make this sound more like a drummer. Any drum machine can go, right? Any drum machine can play a 4 on the floor, can play a dance beat. But how do you make it interesting and groovy like an actual drummer? I'm not a drummer. If you can understand a few drumming techniques, maybe, know how to do a bit of a roll, know how to drag, do a little bit of a snare drag, know how to do maybe a double hit. Okay, I did another video about my bass guitars, and I talked about how one of my basses can approximate the tones of a lot of different types of bass guitars, but out of one instrument. Well, I can approximate what different instrumentalists might do. I'm not a drummer, I'm not a great guitar player, I'm not an organ player or any of these things, but I know some tricks that help me sell what I'm doing and make them sound more convincing. All these things I'm talking about. Rolls, dragging your sticks, just a couple of... I mean, again, that sounds a little more convincing, right? Choose the things that suit the style of music that you want to play. Now, let's talk about another instrument. Everybody has a guitar around and can usually play some bar chords. Okay, so we can play bar chords. But you know, if you learn a couple of interesting licks and build up a library of licks that you know, you can make what you're playing a lot more interesting. Everybody knows this. See, I can't even play it right. Okay, pentatonic scale. Okay, but maybe we don't just play up and down the scale when we're improvising. And then you go out of the scale. Let's find some bends in there. Let's bend the guitar notes. Okay, these are all things that every guitar player should know. So how do we get away with, maybe I only know a few things. Maybe all I know is, I just know that lick. I can play that lick really well. I don't really know much more. But man, I can play the crap out of that lick. But nobody just wants to hear that over and over again. Maybe instead of playing, maybe you play. Okay, I'm just using all the same. It's all the same things in there. I'm just milking them. Okay, this is what slow blues guys who play these slow blues jams do all the time. Okay, I'm not a great guitar player. I know only a handful of things. But, I mean, I know the Rolling Stones. Like, how many songs can you play if you can go... If you know how to play that, you know... Okay, you can get away with selling your performance if you just learn a little bit about the instruments and some commonly played things. Okay, you know, I got an electric piano sound here. Again, I'm not a great keyboard player, but I know a few things, okay? So I'm going to do them in the key of C. Okay, we like 7th chords. Very, very funky and bluesy. 7th chords. Well, I learned this lick. This whole in the key of C, going up to the 5 and the 7 and waggling your fingers back and forth. That's a great trick, man. Okay, taking these two and going down. Okay. That is the most amazing keyboard thing. I can do that everywhere. I can do that here in G. In F. Okay, here's a trick on keyboard. Sliding from one note to the next. From a black key to a white key. That whole maneuver. If you can get that, again, this makes it a lot more interesting than, right, a lot more interesting. Once you learn these licks, you can start to figure out how they work musically. Okay, if you understand a little bit of music theory, Now let me try to make that same thing in a different key. See, it's not the same combination of black and white keys when I change musical keys. So you're gonna have to memorize which ones go where. You know, but it's, instead of learning the entire keyboard and every single note and every single music theory thing, you can cheat a little bit and get the results you want quickly with a little bit of knowledge. Sliding, that kind of thing, doing these kind of note combinations, so you're not just single noting it on the keyboard. Regular keyboard players don't always play single notes. They improvise with chords and multiple notes. You can learn to fake it too. You know, learn your pentatonic scales on a bunch of different instruments. At least you can get a nice blues run in there, and again, it breaks up your track a little bit. So look, these are all ways to be able to sound more convincing on a number of different instruments, okay? All of these tricks work when you're singing as well. Isn't that the ultimate instrument? Now, we all sing in the shower. Some of you may sing on your tracks, some of you may not. You can slide into notes to make them sound a little better than slide into notes. I can sing like this if I want to, but no one wants to hear me. I can sing like this if I want to, but no one wants to hear me. So some guy just drove by real fast. We got that on the video too. But you get the idea. A little bit of vibrato in your voice, a little sliding into some notes. Yeah, yeah, is much better than yeah, 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 yeah. Okay, I'm over-exaggerating, but you're getting the point. Know a little bit about what these instruments can do in the real world and what a real drummer or keyboardist or organist or vocalist or guitarist or bassist, what they would do, and then just bite the littlest bits of things, and you can make your track sound a little more convincing. So thanks for watching the video. I really appreciate it. I hope you guys like the video. Give it a thumbs up. It helps the channel, and you know, share it with all of your friends, and please, you know, go like the Facebook page, and please come support me on Patreon, and please contribute to the Audio Bus forum. It's a great place for people to meet, and these Facebook pages are great. The iOS audio units page and the, you know, music making on iPad page and all this stuff. So thanks so much for watching. I love you guys. You guys have been great for support, and like the page and like the channel and do all this stuff. And hey, me and my big mason jar of Guinness, we'll see you guys next time. Peace, baby.